guys, it's Sarah from Losing It For Me 42 with my week. I'm going to go with 36 update. I had vertical sleeve gastrectomy on October 26, 2016. My high weight was 389 and that was in April of 2016. My surgery weight was 324. I came at you last week, which was my 8-month anniversary, at 246, and this week I am 246. Lots of ups and downs between, but I ended exactly where I started in that sense. There was a lot of ups and downs, so I'm glad to be on the downside. It was kind of a rough week. I realized kind of slowly, because I have problems, that I was in carb detox. And that explains so much for me. I was coming off of the natural carb diet that I was doing, way of eating I was doing, where I was getting lots of fruits and vegetables. At least a lot of vegetables, some fruit. And I was totally not expecting to carb detox from that. My brain just didn't make that logical leap and was like, oh, you're on carbs. Your body is using carbs as fuel. And you're trying to switch it back over to protein. And yeah, no. So, explain a lot. I was having a lot of like tailspin behavior, a lot of just kind of wild eating, a lot of behaviors that I was like, why am I, like, usually there's something I can attribute this to, and I'm like, I'm coming off a Shark Week, so I can't really blame it on that. And I was like, there's just not enough to really, put my finger on. And then finally I was like, oh, that's why I'm carb detoxing. So at least for me, carb detoxing, I need to up my calories. I need to up my cheese intake. Cheese has a lot of dopamine levels, and helps give you a more, like, I don't know how to put it. It just makes me feel better when I eat a lot of cheese when I'm detoxing, because it keeps my brain happy instead of getting like all crazy. So yeah, I was like, oh, I didn't think about this. It's logical. Once it occurred to me, I was like, oh, well, that makes perfect sense, but I'm a bit slow. So did not occur to me. So that is something I'm doing this week, is carb detoxing. Getting my body to switch from carbs as fuel to protein as fuel. And that's basically what I'm doing. I am going back to the way that I was eating, which is protein, and, some veggies. Right now, I'm steering more towards protein, less towards veggies, because I'm detoxing, and I want to make that detox go faster. Yeah, so that's happening. Isn't that lovely? I made some goals for June. One was to lose 4% of my body, my excess weight, which I joined Melly May's diet bet, hence that. I'm doing pretty good. Even though I haven't lost any weight this week, when I weighed in for my diet bets, it was not a good day. Really kind of made me a little depressed, but it wasn't a good day. And my diet bet goal, I'm pretty sure I'll hit without much of an issue. My goal, my real goal, is to hit 2 37 by the end of this month, which is a hefty goal. It's about 10 pounds from where I am, and it's already a weekend. So not a timid goal. As long as I hit the diabetes one, that's the one that like really counts because there's money on that one. But for me, I'd really, for mentally, like to lose 10 pounds this month. And that's what I was basing it off of, my weight when I started the month, which was 247. So I was basing it, when I made my internal goal, it was based off of that. And then I shot up a lot on the scale, and then I shot back down. I'm just all over the place. I know it's water weight, but like, it's rough. So that's what I've been doing. 4% by the end of the month. Let's see if I get there. I'm pretty, like, I don't know, I feel really good about it. I like the diet bet. So far there's been a couple of times in which I've contemplating bad ideas, and literally I go, I'm gonna put that back, diet bet. So if any little bit that helps. Doesn't help on the true spin outs, but it does help on the, the little daily things. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see, what else is out there? Excuse me. Getting 90 ounces of water in a day is another goal for July. It's July, people. It's July. Yeah, my brain, not so much. July. 90 ounces of water. I'm hitting it. I'm tracking my water again. I've tracked my water every day this week. Yay! And I'm hitting that goal. Plus, usually I'm in about the 100 ounce range. So I'm very happy with that. Another one is to hit my step goal 5 days a week, which I have been doing. Right now with work, we're a little bit slower post-holiday, and like I can totally get out and go for a walk at lunch. And it helped, like making this goal has helped, because yesterday I was like, I could put in for my lunch and get paid for it. And I was like, no, I need to hit my step goal, and I went walking. So again, any little thing helps. So I went out and I did my walking. And it was nice because I had just done an interview with a new person, and I kind of used my walk as like a meditation and reflection on the interview, on how I felt about the person and all of that kind of stuff, and kind of sorting out my feelings and thoughts. So that was good. Oops, sorry. I'm not drinking my coffee. I'm trying to think if there was another one. I think that was all of them. Oh, take my vitamins and my medication every day. I have been, and that has been going well. For those who are new and just tuning in, I have IBS with constipation, and I have to take a pill with food. Even though the pill technically says do not take with food, take on an empty stomach, it works best when you take it with food. And when I don't take it, my stomach is not very happy. So it's best to take it with food. It's also best to take it with solid food, and it's best to take it in the morning. So now that I'm eating solid food in the morning again, that is going doing swimmingly. And I've been doing that every day, and my stomach is much better. Home life is okay. It's getting better. Day by day, slow by slow. Look at this hair. Look at this hair, people. Ridiculous. I have an appointment next week to get my hair cut. Hopefully I'll have cash to do that. I'm poor. But, no, it's growing out in some weird, Trumpy ways, where it's just kind of sticking right out. Don't you love that? Anyway. Home life is better. It's still rough. We're not completely out of the woods, but it's definitely getting less stressful a little bit every day. Work life, not so much. Work life is fucking crazy. Work is like the workflow is in a lull, which is great because I'm working on cleaning up a whole bunch of stuff and a whole bunch of projects that I've had on my plate for a while that I haven't been able to get to, and I'm like banging it out of the park all of a sudden. I was like, this is what happens when you don't have to do 100 requests in a day. So I'm banging out a whole bunch of projects for upper management. And overall, like, my happiness at work and with work is great. I am very happy and, you know, things are great there. It's just the transition, losing my... Get out of the road. Chipmunk. Losing my assistant, we went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and finally in the end, it ended on losing my assistant, and that is a real blow to me. I've spent 1.5 years training them. It takes at least a year to learn the job. It's a very complex job, and I will have to start over with somebody else, and that's gonna suck. And I like her. She's a really great person. I have, you know, good work chemistry with her, and it's a shame. But this isn't where she wanted to end up, and she just graduated and stuff and whatever. Anyway, so work is a little chaotic right now. Doing interviews, trying to hire someone, trying to find somebody, trying to feel a chemistry with that person to make sure I'm going to share an office with them. I want to make sure that they're not a douche and that they're not going to, you know, make my life a living hell. And it's nice to know that I have a real say in stuff. I mean, not that I didn't before, but just that my opinion really matters. And this is kind of really a bit on me, which puts a little bit more pressure than I want, but okay. It matters to me that my bosses want me to be happy. That is what matters. And they really do a lot to try to, like, make sure that I'm happy, because I do a lot of work and I'm a real workhorse, and they know that and they appreciate it. And, you know, the fact that I do as much as other companies who have 5 people, me and my 1.5 person do as much, really, you know, it really bugs me, but at the same time, like, the fact that everyone knows and appreciates what I do kind of, you know, balances some bit. Some days I'm more upset about it than others. The nicer they treat me, the less I'm upset about it. And especially now when we're in a lull, it's kind of hard to be like, I work so hard. And I'm like, I have 4 things on my queue today. I'm not working really hard today. I'm gonna go for a walk. are good. There's just a lot of stress of having to find somebody new and then training them and having to deal with a whole new work environment. So that's going on. Yeah. I appreciate where I am, how far I've come. I really want to get further. And I think that is really settling in on me, that I really do want to get further. That part of me knows that some of my problem is definitely self-sabotage. And that a lot of that self-sabotage comes from being afraid of getting smaller. Sounds stupid, but there is a psychological part of me that doesn't know how to not be overweight. I've been overweight since the 3rd grade. I don't know how to not be overweight. And not that I could lose 80 pounds probably and still be overweight. So it's not like I'm knocking on that door, but because this is the smallest I have ever been in my adult life, that's why this thing comes into my head and goes like, oh shit. And for the most part, like, I really think that if I had some surgery and things got cleaned up and taken off and whatever, I think I'd be okay-ish with where I am. But I do. I want to get further. I want to get a lot further because, life's going to happen, and if I end up in this area, I won't be upset, but I'd like to get down so that I end up here, if that makes any sense. But really, I need to get further down, and I need to really buckle down, and I really need to focus on stuff, and a lot of my problem is being self-aware, which I am incredibly self-aware, but it takes a little time. I knew for most of this journey that I've had this self-sabotage thing going on, and it took until now for me to figure out that really what it is fear. And I knew underneath a lot of this, there was the thought and theory subconsciously that I was going to get thin, and like what I imagine as thin, and I think that's kind of unrealistic for my brain to think, because I'm going like, I don't know if that's possible. Like, maybe I see other people do it, so maybe, but that's a stretch goal. And I think because I had that subconscious thought, I had the other subconscious reaction of, I have been heavy my entire life. It is part of my identity. It is part of my core identity. And what does that mean for me? And that is, I guess, troubling for my brain. And it's definitely, I think, something I need to, like, now that I'm aware of it, now that I see that behavior, I'm like, oh, that's what it is. Like, shut up, girl, you're stupid. But before, I was just like, I don't know what this is. I don't know why I'm doing this. So, yes, being self-aware and knowing why you do things is so important, because once you know, you're like, oh, that's why that behavior is. I'm not gonna do that now. Or even if you still can't control that behavior, you at least feel better knowing, and you feel more prepared to try to deal with it and to come up with ways of dealing with it that work with that, whatever the psychological issue is. So that's pretty much my week. I'm doing diabet. I'm detoxing off of carbs, and I'm trying to be as self-aware as possible so that I can deal with all of these freaking issues I have, because I have a ton of them. But I'll get there. And, you know, try again, as Perfer says. Like, you know, the only way to fail is to give up. You know, falling off the wagon isn't failing. Eating something bad isn't failing. Giving up and stopping. Stop trying. It's like, and, you know, eating the natural carb diet that I was doing, it didn't work. My body treats natural carbs just like any other carbs, and it didn't work for me. But I know that now. You know, it's one of those things where, like, I could have added small amounts of it to my diet, and I could have seen that I've been like, I don't understand. Why isn't this working? Why can't I function? What's going on? And it's literally just this. Not enough calories, carbs. My body treats as carbs, no matter what kind of carbs they are. And, like, the sugars caused binge behavior and made me crave other kinds of foods. So, yeah, not for me. I tried it. I did it for a couple weeks, and I really felt like I had transitioned over, and no, not for me. And I, like, as much as I'm, like, kind of upset that I tried it, I feel better knowing that I did, because even though it set me back in time, like, time-wise, I lost time, I feel better overall knowing that, like, I tried it, it didn't work, I know the reasons why, and I can use that information to better adjust my lifestyle. It's really all you can do. So, that is what I'm doing. Okay, guys, until next week, bye!